Chapter 46 I can finally let go of my hands and feet. The third watch asks for flowers and tickets. Chapter 46 I can finally let go of my hands and feet. The third watch asks for flowers and tickets. Lin Yi rushed towards the transport station with Mikoto, Kushina, and others. The troops ahead have pinned rock shinobi to the inside of the transport station, and the enemy is retreating steadily. But just after rushing into the transportation station, Lin Yi's face suddenly changed after he hadn't walked a few steps. He suddenly reached out, grabbed Mikoto and Kushina beside him, and pulled them into his arms. Mikoto was startled. Lin Yi, even if you want to hug me, but now Kushina was also startled, and was just about to say something. Suddenly. Boom. The walls on both sides suddenly exploded. The rock exploded, and the flames and gravel shot in all directions with the blast, like bullets. Boom. 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 Countless gravel hit Lin Yi's body, making a muffled sound. The flames burned him with the blast, making him clench his teeth, but finally, I protected Kushina and Mikoto in my arms. I thought it was Konoha who wanted to kill me. So it's not just Konoha, but also Rock Shinobi. Lin Yi let out a long breath, put Mikoto and Kushina down, and looked up. The walls on both sides have been blown down, revealing the Rock Shinobi who had been prepared in the rear. Also ahead, Konoha's elite Jonin Ichiki who rushed in first. Who made you so lively? Some people can't get used to it. A rock shinobi showed a meaningful smile. Fortunately, you have been unstable inside Konoha, otherwise I am afraid that this attack will really be successful by you. But having said that, you are worthy of the Senju clan. Facing the attack of the detonating flame array, you can actually protect your two teammates without even fainting. Your teammate is obviously from the Uzumaki family. The explosive power at close range is comparable to A+ level ninjutsu. Even though Lin Yi moves very fast, the two of them will inevitably be knocked unconscious by the blast. The rest is only Lin Yi. The blood of the Senju clan is so coveted. The rock shinobi sighed. But Konoha's elite Jonin frowned. Hey, don't forget our agreement. I know, this kid's body belongs to you, and we won't move people from the Uzumaki clan. Rock Shinobi showed a smirk. We only need the result of his death. Uzumaki Kushina is Konoha's chosen Jinchuriki, and the stakes are huge. It seems that the mastermind behind the attack on Lin Yi this time is still heart of Konoha. Lin Yi stood up. The flames had already burned half of his ninja suit, especially his back, which was almost covered with burns. He narrowed his eyes slightly, remembering the cause of Nawaka's death in the original book. Also led by Orochimaru, Nawaka rushed too far forward, and as a result fell into a trap by mistake and was killed by the detonator. When the body was found, his internal organs were gutted. Eviscerated. A sneer appeared on the corner of Lin Yi's mouth. It's like what that one did. He looked up, and there were 4 ninjas facing him, 3 rock shinobi Jonin, and 1 elite Jonin Ichiki from Konoha. There are no other subordinate ninjas, probably because they don't want people to see the scene of Rock Shinobi and Konoha's transaction. After all, this is a confidential matter. Can you still laugh? Rock Shinobi Jonin frowned, and snorted. The exit of the transportation station has been blown up. While our people are entangled with Konoha's ninja, we also blow up the passage. There is no one now, even if you die here, no one else will know. You can still laugh. Won't anyone else know? Lin Yi raised his head slightly. Of course. So. In the next second, that rock shinobi instantly appeared beside Lin Yi. The rock shinobi who was originally talking to Lin Yi turned into a dirt clone. Hit the east and the west. Go to hell. Rock shinobi's eyes flashed brightly, holding a kunai, he stabbed suddenly. It is his glory to be able to kill and suppress the ninjas of the first generation family in the ninja world. No one else will know. A sneer appeared on the corner of Lin Yi's mouth. That would be great. The next second, he grabbed the attacking rock shinobi and slammed the other's head into the ground. Boom. The whole room was shocked. How is it possible the remaining two were shocked? You have clearly withstood the attack of the explosive flame array, how can you still have the strength to fight? In the next second, their words stopped abruptly. Because they saw that the wound on Lin Yi's body healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Obviously, it was a burn wound enough to kill an ordinary person, but in just 3 or 5 breaths, the dead skin peeled off, and brand new skin appeared, like jade, as if it had never been injured. Their faces changed instantly, first Hokage's fairy body. A sneer appeared on the corner of Lin Yi's mouth. With no one else, I can finally let go of my hands and feet. Chapter 47 Powerful Wood Style. The first one asks for flowers and tickets. Chapter 47 Powerful Wood Style. The first one asks for flowers and tickets. In fact, Lin Yi has been hiding his strength. Wood style, the body of a fairy, these things cannot be exposed casually. Once exposed, outside the village will definitely snipe Lin Yi at any cost, in order to kill Lin Yi in the cradle. Many people in the village will also have certain inappropriate thoughts in their hearts. Even when facing Rain Shinobi Hanzo back then, Lin Yi could only deliberately pull the enemy to the edge of the battlefield, and then dared to take advantage of everyone's inattention, and use the recovery power of the immortal body to exchange injuries for injuries and kill that elite Jonin. Currently only Tsunade and Jiraiya know about Lin Yi's immortal body, and even the teacher Orochimaru doesn't know about it at all. He always hides his strength. But in fact, this is a very unpleasant behavior. The power of wood style far exceeds that of ordinary escapism, but Lin Yi cannot use it at will. But if Lin Yi chooses to learn wood style or ordinary escapism, then naturally he still wants to learn the powerful wood style. It is undoubtedly a pity that you can't use it after learning it. But now, do it. Since he is not injured, then target his teammates and let him die. A rock shinobi roared, suddenly drew his shuriken, and threw it at Lin Yi. His target is Mikoto and Kushina. Lin Yi's eyes were still cold, facing the flying shuriken, he stretched out his hand flatly. Wood-style wooden ingot wall. Boom. 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 The trees under his feet grew on their own, forming a barrier in front of Lin Yi. The shuriken hit the wooden wall, making a crisp sound. Lin Yi put the two girls in his hands on the ground, and took a step back. Wood style automatically covers the two women, forming an excellent defensive wall. The faces of the two rock shinobi jonin in front of them became serious. The wooden ingot wall is only a C-level ninjutsu, but its defense power is above the B-level level. Even faintly touched the threshold of A-level ninjutsu. This is the power of wood style. Wood style ninjutsu is far superior to other ninjutsu. Is this wood style? A rock shinobi's voice was slightly deep. He was obviously only a 12 or 13-year-old boy, but he was able to perform such powerful ninjutsu. Yeah, this is wood style. Kazuki's voice was full of complexity. At first he just thought he was killing a member of the Senju clan, but the body of a fairy, wood style, has such strength at the age of 12 or 13. This is not an ordinary Senju, but the hope of Konoha. Hey, what are you thinking? Seeing Kazuki's expression, A rock shinobi said coldly, "Don't forget that we are ninjas." "Ninja, you should complete your mission. Your task is to kill this brat, and you think he has already exposed wood style, so will he show mercy to you?" Yumu smiled wryly, "Yes, do you have other choices?" And as a ninja, it is his responsibility to desperately complete the task. Taking a deep breath, Kazuki raised his head. "Then, let's fight. My task is to bring Lin Yi's internal organs back to the village. Maybe the village can rely on this material to create a new wood-style envoy. I'm going to wake up Kingdu, you two hold him first." A rock shinobi said, and immediately ran in a big circle towards the rock shinobi who was stunned by Lin Yi at the beginning. Lin Yi didn't care, and rushed towards the remaining rock shinobi and Kazuki. Wood-style wood clone technique. Several pieces of wood quickly grew from his feet, and then quickly transformed into the shape of Lin Yi. As soon as wood clone appeared, he immediately rushed towards Yumu. The number of clones is 10. This is not a clone for practice, but a powerful clone that can bear a huge amount of chakra consumption in battle. Wood clone rushed towards Kazuki quickly, and Kazuki began to fight with a complex expression. Different from ordinary clones, the biggest advantage of wood clone is that he can withstand a certain degree of blows, instead of being destroyed at a touch like ordinary shadow clones. In other words, they can attack harder. And it won't be impossible to attack again because it breaks up after a fight. Is this wood style so strong? Kazuki had a complicated heart. While dealing with wood clone's attack, he felt uncomfortable. This was originally an escape technique to create Konoha. But Lin Yi didn't care about his expression at all. He rushed straight to the remaining rock shinobi, his hands constantly forming seals. Humph. Even if it is wood style, but first Hokage is not you, a 12 or 13-year-old kid. Rock shinobi was furious, "You rushed directly to me, do you still think you can defeat me?" With that said, he was about to attack. But wood style 4-pillar prison technique. In the next second, several wooden strips suddenly grew under his feet, and they grew wildly in an instant. Before he wanted to jump out, they were blocked directly, forming a huge prison cell. Then, the cell shrank suddenly, almost shrinking like a cage. In a small space, it is impossible to exert all your strength. Not to mention that at the moment when the space shrunk, there were several wooden strips that were like ropes, shuttled around to bind his arms and body, and began to absorb his chakra non-stop. This is what wood style is all about. Absorb the chakra of others, use it for yourself, and make yourself stronger and stronger. At the same time, the enemy is getting weaker and weaker because they can't use chakra smoothly. That's why it's called the Tailed Beast Buster. A total of 3 Rock Shinobi Jonin, 1 Konoha Elite Jonin, now 1 was stunned by Lin Yi at the beginning, 1 was trapped by 4-pillar prison technique, and Elite Jonin was also entangled by wood clone. The strength of wood style can be seen from Madara. But wake up! Rock Shinobi, who was going to rescue his companion, looked ugly, and slapped him directly to wake him up. Just wake up, we haven't lost yet. He had a ruthless expression on his face. Indeed, although wood style has a great reputation, everyone on his side has never personally experienced it, so it is inevitable that they feel a little uncomfortable. Even if I wake up the companion who fell at the beginning, it is still 3-1. A ninja is trapped in the 4-pillar prison technique. But Lin Yi is only 12 or 13 years old after all. How many wood styles can he learn once he uses all the wood style he knows? These experienced ninjas like himself can immediately come up with countermeasures. He will lose in the end. Haruto, get up, that kid is not an ordinary boy, we also have to. Hey, what is the sigil on your body? Rock Shinobi looked at the black spell on his companion's chest, and was slightly taken aback. In the next second, a cold, crisp teenager's voice sounded in front of him. It's the Flying Thunder God spell. Chapter 48, Of course they are dead. Second, more flowers, tickets. Chapter 48, Of course they are dead. Second, more flowers, tickets. The Flying Thunder God spell was left by Lin Yi after he knocked out the Jonin with one hand at the very beginning. So he didn't care about the rock shinobi who was trying to wake up Jonin, he was just as dead if he woke up. And now. Raise non. Boom. With one raise non in each hand, the powerful destructive power of A-level ninjutsu ends the battle in an instant. The biggest advantage of Muji ninjutsu lies in this. Compared with ordinary A-level ninjutsu, although Rasengan's attack power is not weak, it is not outstanding either. But the speed that can be completed in an instant makes it the most suitable ninjutsu to cooperate with Flying Thunder God. This is the battle system of 4th Hokage. Instantly appear beside the enemy as the Flying Thunder God, blasting the raise non at the enemy at a speed that the enemy cannot react. Unless facing a tailed beast with a huge body and amazing defensive power, it would be very difficult for anyone to meet him. Lin Yi slowly withdrew his hand, and then the two bloody corpses fell to the ground. The wood style of the 1st Hokage, the system of the 4th Hokage, it is not that difficult at all to deal with a few ordinary Jonin when there is calculation from the beginning. Now you are the only one left. Lin Yi slowly raised his head, looking at the only enemy in Konoha village. Yeah, I'm the only one left. Yuma smiled wryly, and several wood clones had already fallen beside him. Obviously, during this period of time, he did not fail to make a move. However, the effect is not great. Wood clone is not only more durable than other clones, but also has the characteristic of turning into trees to entangle the enemy after death, successfully delaying the time. It looks like the mission is going to fail. You just used Master 2nd Hokage's Flying Thunder God technique. Ichiki sighed and said, it's already impossible to keep you. Now, I'm the one who wants to keep you. Lin Yi's eyes were cold. Outside the transport station. Boom. 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 Explosions came and went, accompanied by the hiss of lion majesty. Orochimaru's face was ashen, his strength was even higher than that of Kari, but he was a strong man of the same level, and it was almost impossible to find time to rescue Lin Yi under his delay. This time, Rock Shinobi was fully prepared, and there were already many Rock Shinobi ambushing in the periphery. It was extremely difficult for other Konoha Shinobi players to pull out their hands to rescue Lin Yi. What's more, Orochimaru is not sure whether the combat power he finally squeezed out is also a traitor. Then end the battle as soon as possible. Maybe Lin Yi can hold on. A cold light flashed in Orochimaru's eyes, the evil snake is winding. Several huge boa constrictors bit ferociously towards hunting. Look at those teeth, the dim light is flickering, it is obviously poisonous. Haha, it's useless, don't think about it. Kari sneered, his strength was slightly inferior to Orochimaru's, and he was suppressed everywhere in this battle, and his heart was inevitably full of anger. But he put on the defensive without hesitation, holding back Orochimaru. Grab the head of the snake with one hand. Explosion-style thunder punch. But before him, the evil snake's wrist explodes. Boom. 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 The boa constrictor exploded instantly, Hunt's expression changed, and he retreated suddenly, but in the end he was swept in by the storm, and his body was slightly burned. You are Rock Shinobi's famous explosion style. It seems that such a person would never think of being exploded. Orochimaru showed his long tongue and licked the corner of his mouth. Humph. Kari snorted coldly, this time it was indeed his mistake. But you still want to save that Senju boy? Do you know that he is facing an elite Jonin, 3 Jonin? Kari sneered, no, if I think it's normal, he should be in the first explosion. It's time to die. 1 elite Jonin, 3 Jonin. Orochimaru narrowed his eyes. In fact, different from Hunting's feeling, he felt that these powerful men did not pose so much threat to Lin Yi. Lin Yi is the one who can summon Katsuyu. As long as he summons Katsuyu, it's still possible to support a few existences who are less than cage level for a period of time. But he was worried that Lin Yi would be killed by the initial explosion. Unlike a seasoned ninja like himself, Lin Yi is too young. Compared with strength, what he lacks the most is experience. But now, he can only hope for it. Hope, there's still time. Humph, I really don't cry without seeing the coffin. Kari said coldly, and was about to rush up to entangle Orochimaru again. Suddenly, a crisp voice sounded. Because there is no coffin for me, why are you crying? Kari's expression changed instantly, and he hurriedly turned around to defend himself. Then just as he turned around, he saw a blue chakra ball blasting towards him. Raise non. Boom. After all, hunting is hunting. The quasi-shadow of Rock Shinobi Village, the commander of the front-line troops. Even in the case of being attacked, he forcibly turned his body around, crossed his hands, and blocked Lin Yi's blow, only to be blown away a long way. However, his complexion became extremely ugly. Senju Lin Yi, why are you here? What about our people? Lin Yi looked at him like a fool. I came out, of course they are dead. Chapter 49, The Power of Flying Thunder God. Chapter 49, The Power of Flying Thunder God. Kari's face suddenly became quite ugly. Don't think that killing Lin Yi Rock Shinobi doesn't cost anything, on the contrary, they paid a lot. In order for Konoha Shinobi players to enter the transport station without warning, the Rock Shinobi who died in battle is the real deal. And in order to attract Konoha Shinobi to the transport station, the weapons, rations, medicines, etc. inside are also genuine. Even if a little bit of these materials are finally recovered because of Rock Shinobi's victory, most of them will still be lost. Not to mention that Rock Shinobi blew up their transport station. It's a hassle to fix it. With all these sacrifices, it is enough to kill Senju Lin Yi and kill a genius of the Senju clan, but now he is standing in front of him and can sneak attack him. There is absolutely no gain at all. However, even though Satoshi had an ugly face, he was a quasi-cage level man after all, so he immediately gave the order. Rock Shinobi, kill that kid. He was injured a bit, but was able to hold Orochimaru just barely. Except for his own battlefield, Rock Shinobi has the upper hand in other battlefields that have been prepared for a long time. If you try your best, it's not impossible to squeeze out the manpower to kill Lin Yi. Hearing the order, the Rock Shinobi also showed their strong-willed characteristics. Many Rock Shinobi burst out, desperately entangled Konoha's ninja, and then freed up their hands, instantly gathered a large force and rushed towards Lin Yi. Just take a look, there are actually close to 100 people. The army of nearly 100 men rushed towards Lin Yi aggressively. Although the strongest among them is only 1 or 2 elite jonin, and there are not many ordinary jonin, but there are so many of them. You are courting death. There was a sneer at the corner of Lin Yi's mouth, and then he suddenly threw out the sky filled with bitterness. His attacks are dense, but it seems that Sasuke and Itachi will fight Shuriken in the future. A steady stream of kunai was summoned from the space scroll hidden on the wrist, and then threw it at the rock shinobi with all its strength. Idiot. Using kunai is this looking down on us? Sure enough, it's still too young. Although kunai is a ninja tool commonly used by ninjas, it is easy to use it to kill ordinary ninjas, but it is extremely difficult to kill powerful ninjas. Even Orochimaru frowned. It's good that Lin Yi is alive, and he should have gone through a tough battle. The most important thing now is to stay by my side, protect him by myself, and prevent Rock Shinobi from completing the task, instead of trying to fight those Rock Shinobi. Lin Yi, Orochimaru was about to speak, but suddenly, his words stopped. Because in the next second, Lin Yi's figure instantly disappeared in place. Then, he appeared next to a rock shinobi. No ninjutsu or tactics are needed, just hold a kunai in a flat hand, and swipe lightly on the opponent's neck. Blood blossomed, and the corpse fell to the ground. Lin Yi's physical skills are also at the full level. Although it is the basic Konoha fluid technique, it is not comparable to this Chunin rock shinobi. Damn it! Rock shinobi next to him was furious, forming mudras with his hands, and was about to release ninjutsu towards Lin Yi. But before he could make his first seal, Lin Yi disappeared again, this time appearing next to a rock shinobi on the other side of the battlefield. Brush. Another corpse. Then again, before the ninja could react, his figure disappeared again, and they didn't find Lin Yi's figure until Rock Shinobi's death cry came from afar. 1, 2, 3. 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. The black hair that dazzles the eyes, frightens the bottom of the heart, and casts a shadow on the soul keeps flickering. This is real carnage. The strongest point of Flying Thunder God is the harvesting of minions. You must know that even Uchiha Madara's fire style can be blocked by multiple ninjas teaming up to cast water style. But what about kunai? Use ninjutsu to block kunai? Well, it does stop it. But the problem is that people just throw kunai. If I don't come to you, I don't need Flying Thunder God. Will it be fine? Exchange physical strength for chakra. Any ninja can die laughing. And something like kunai can be thrown from the sky over the defensive wall. Can't stop it? Frightened. Helpless. Despair. Negative emotions permeated among the rock shinobi as the killing began. Lin Yi does not seek to kill elite jonin, they are rough and thick, even with Raise-Non it may not be able to achieve the effect of instant killing. He is targeting the elite jonin and below, including Chunin, Special Jonin, and Jonin classes. He can instantly kill these weaker ninjas. At most, when facing Special Jonin and Jonin, instead of using Kiwithorn, use Raise-Non. Damn it! Everyone get together. Then Lin Yi appeared next to them in an instant, this time using a fire style. Throw away the kunai on the ground. He was teleported through that thing. The ninjas worked so hard to pick up nothing, but Lin Yi's instant appearance was closer this time, making it easier to deal with them. Retreat. Retreat. However, this is useless. The ninja's speed is indeed not slow, but no matter how fast it is, it cannot be faster than Kuwufi's speed. They are not fourth rankage. The two elite jonin, led by Rock Shinobi, looked at the troops that were continuously downsizing, with anger and helplessness in their eyes. Unfortunately, they can't do anything. Just one person, in the face of more than 100 Rock Shinobi elite troops, actually carried out a one-sided massacre. Damn it. Retreat. Kari couldn't sit still any longer, and burst out a few explosion-style moves to force Orochimaru away, shouting loudly. Withdraw. All Rock Shinobi, get out of the battle lines. As he spoke, he glanced at Lin Yi with an ugly expression. His own plan is perfect. Even if Jonin and Konoha's traitors failed at the beginning, they can find follow-up countermeasures, which can be called foolproof. But they were all defeated by such a young man. Chapter 50 Black Flash. Add more flowers for 6K, ask for tickets for flowers. Chapter 50 Black Flash. Add more flowers for 6K, ask for tickets for flowers. Rock Shinobi eventually retreated. A quasi-shadow is extremely powerful. Even if the quasi-shadow is injured, it can't defeat Orochimaru. But with him in the lead, Rock Shinobi eventually retreated. Konoha's ninjas chased and killed for a while, but they didn't dare to chase too much. After all, this is still the territory of the Land of Earth. But even so, the Rock Shinobi have lost a lot. In the end, there will be 1 out of 10 who can retreat safely. Because Lin Yi's damage to the bottom ninja is too great. It was almost equivalent to cheating, but even if the hunter came up, he couldn't catch Lin Yi's footsteps. Not to mention that his main focus is on Orochimaru. Of course, Lin Yi also tried his best. Although Flying Thunder God is a trash fish slaughtering machine, these bad fish are also ninjas. Many of them are Chunin who can stand alone, even Jonin. Even Lin Yi must be careful of the other party's enchantments, traps, and so on. But after this battle, Lin Yi became famous completely. No one can easily defeat the enemy when facing hundreds of ninjas alone, and keep a low profile after killing most of them. Now Konoha's ninja looked at Lin Yi with a bit of admiration in his eyes. Although he didn't speak, he was clearly talking. As expected of the blood of Shode and Nidaime. Even Mikoto and Kushina, who were rescued by Lin Yi from the bomb transport station, were shocked when they heard the words of those ninjas after they woke up. 1 against 100. Will you kill the other party without leaving a piece of armor? Everyone is a ninja who just graduated. Why Lin Yi, you are so good? Of course, they are all arrogant female ninjas, and they eventually became. Mikoto, okay, it's amazing, I can't fall behind too much, otherwise. Kushina, as expected of the man I fancy. Instead, after a moment of silence, Orochimaru avoided other people's eyeliner and found Lin Yi alone. Who is the traitor? He asked straight to the point. Elite Jonin, Ichiki. Lin Yi replied. It's him. Orochimaru was taken aback, and Kazuki also knew that he was a hard-working elite Jonin, a down-to-earth person who kept out of the limelight. After a moment of hesitation, Orochimaru said, "Did you get any information?" Lin Yi was silent for a moment. No, he committed suicide. After Lin Yi killed Rock Shinobi, Kazuki and Lin Yi fought for a while, and found that he was at a disadvantage and couldn't escape, so he committed suicide decisively. He did it to hide information. Orochimaru said firmly. N. Lin Yi nodded. Facing the enemy, any village has ninjutsu to investigate intelligence. Among other things, Konoha has the Yamanaka family, who are especially good at investigating intelligence, and even the dead can investigate certain information. Kazuki is naturally familiar with this. He released fire style on himself without hesitation, and at the same time collapsed the room, forcing Lin Yi to withdraw to protect Mikoto and the two, but could not keep his body. No matter how strong the Yamanaka family is, it is impossible to investigate anything from the ashes. This is ninja. For the mission, at all costs. The information is cut off. Orochimaru was silent for a moment, but it's not that there is no information at all. There are only a few strengths that can make elite Jonin rebel, the patriarchs of the big families, Master Hokage, a few elders, and Danzo. Who is not clear, Danzo is the most likely, but others are not entirely impossible. After a moment of silence, Orochimaru suddenly spoke. Awaken your bloodline. Lin Yi was taken aback. He hadn't used the immortal body and wood style in front of Orochimaru, and he didn't even show the full amount of chakra. Nothing strange. On the contrary, Orochimaru's face remained calm. Actually, I've noticed it before. Although Jiraiya has a strict mouth, he is actually not that good at keeping secrets. If you think about it, you can kill Kazuki, so you can imagine it. Lin Yi blinked his eyes, and Orochimaru would be able to see it sooner or later. But, my cheap teacher, don't you want to extend his poisonous hands to me? Although Orochimaru has not been blackened yet, he will be a professional household in the future. The impact of this battle was enormous. Although the two sides are only fighting at the level of a few hundred people, it is far from a battle of tens of thousands of people in an all-out war. But the intelligence of this battle is extremely important to any force. Konoha ordinary ninja was shocked when he heard about it, and even a few old and young members of the Senju clan shouted, "There are successors to the Senju clan." The ninjas in the hostile village also looked solemn. That second Hokage's flying thunder god, it's so strong. Facing weak ninjas, it's almost instant kills. It's even difficult for masters to entangle them. It's indeed a powerful ninjutsu. Is this why the Hanzo of Rain Shinobi village wanted to hunt down that kid? Hanzo, no, it's because of something else. This kid hides really deep. Of course, in addition to their strength in space ninjutsu, their shock was also enhanced by the identity of the Lin Yi Senju clan. There are too many powerful ninjas in this family, and the wood style is too powerful. Even if Lin Yi's wood style is not exposed, he is still strictly guarded. Almost instantly, all ninja villages, even those living overseas, knew Lin Yi's name. Even Rock Shinobi gave Lin Yi a code name. Black Flash. Chapter 51 Tsunade, have nothing to fear. The first one asks for flowers and tickets. Chapter 51 Tsunade, have nothing to fear. The first one asks for flowers and tickets. In the world of ninjas, most famous ninjas have their own names. Such as Sunin, such as Copying Ninjas, such as the Ghosts of Mist Ninja Village, and the 7 Great Swords of Ninja World. Under normal circumstances, unless the strength and record are extremely outstanding, even Jonin, even Elite Jonin, cannot get the title. And these ninjas with names, without any accident, belong to some people who are required by Ninja Village and must remember their characteristics. That's right. The ninjas who said to Naruto the name written in this uncle's handbook in the future are talking about such a group of people. It belongs to the major ninja villages, and will specially collect its information and distribute it to every Umbu existence. And Lin Yi. There is no doubt that even counting down to the first Hokage period, he is the youngest one. It is also the fastest one on this manual after graduating from Genin. But no one would have any dissatisfaction with this. One can defeat 100, and even almost wipe out the enemy. Even a ninja who has never heard of the name is also qualified to be included in this manual. Not to mention the Senju clan. But Lin Yi frowned when he got the news. Are people in the ninja world so uncreative? I use Flying Thunder God, and my hair is black, so it's called Black Flash. Minato seems to be called Yellow Flash in the future, right? Can't you change it to a better name? Can black shine? Anything black absorbs all light. Okay, let us understand the common sense of physics. But it's also helpless. Things like names are given to you by the enemy. It's impossible to say I don't think this name is good and just run over and change it. If so, Lin Yi will definitely ask for the title of the most handsome guy in the ninja world. After the battle, Lin Yi and others returned to the outpost. Orochimaru didn't hold anything back either, and said many things to Tsunade. Tsunade's face turned ugly instantly. Damn it, who is it? It was the first time Lin Yi saw such a furious Tsunade. Her face was ashen, and she exuded an extremely terrifying aura. Who wants to harm our Senju clan? Even Lin Yi felt a little oppressed by that ferocious aura. Among the Sunin in the future, Tsunade's strength is completely the tail of the crane among the three. Compared with Jiraiya, who is immortal, Orochimaru, who has developed countless ninjutsu, Tsunade is the weakest. If it is not for the bonus of medical ninjutsu, I am afraid that it is not worthy of the name of Sunin. But feeling the terrifying aura on her body, Lin Yi knew it in his heart. Now she is enough to stand side by side with Orochimaru and Jiraiya even if she does not count medical ninjutsu. Because unlike the two who have been exercising themselves, Tsunade has been almost devastated since he suffered from hemophobia. For decades, he has made no progress at all except for the research of the Baihao technique series of ninjutsu. Even, it can slip. Anyway, Lin Yi doesn't believe that some people don't fight for decades, and their combat power still doesn't decline. But now, if there is no reason for the formation of phobia, where will she end up? Tsunade, calm down, no matter what, Lin Yi is alright now, isn't he? Jiraiya said softly, it's the same as the last time I led the team, there was no danger. This is different. Tsunade said coldly, it's Konoha's people who want Lin Yi's life this time. Everyone was slightly silent. The reason for this was too complicated, and they didn't know what to say. Orochimaru was silent for a moment, and said, it was Kazuki of Elite Jonin who shot, and there are not many people who can order him. Everyone knows who can order him. There is no need to speak. Tsunade was silent for a moment, then stood up, I want to take Lin Yi back to Konoha. Are you sure now that this kind of battle has already started? Jiraiya frowned, Rock Shinobi village has just been humiliated, and they will definitely take revenge. In this case back to Konoha. Leaving aside the impact on the battle situation, some caring people might label her as a runaway. If you don't go back, do you still want my brother to face danger? Tsunade said angrily, yes, he is not weak in battle, and we can protect him, but what about poisoning? What about traps? He's only 12. Not us crawling through the dead. The dagger on the back is the most dangerous. Although Konoha cannot guarantee that it will be safe, it is much safer than the front line. The two were silent for a moment, and finally Orochimaru nodded, okay, then you go back with the next batch of convoys, and I will give you a task to escort the convoy later. Tsunade nodded, sorry. It's okay, we are teammates. Orochimaru said calmly, and Lin Yi is also my disciple, I should protect him. Jiraiya also said, let me check Kazuki's personal belongings, maybe I will find something. Tell me immediately if you find anything, I will definitely kill him. Tsunade said through gritted teeth. Tell me too. A sneer appeared on the corner of Orochimaru's mouth, I'm also curious about who dared to attack my disciple. Lin Yi looked at the three of them from the sidelines, feeling a little emotional in his heart. Although Jiraiya was careless, he never hesitated when it was time to make a move. Even in the face of Hanzo, he desperately held back the enemy and let himself escape first. Orochimaru is also good enough to Lin Yi, no matter whether he wants to attack Lin Yi in the future or not, now he has fulfilled his responsibility as a teacher. Not to mention her own sister, Lin Yi even felt that if something happened, Tsunade might even exchange her own life for Lin Yi's. Actually, I'm not that weak. Lin Yi touched his nose, I have Flying Thunder God, as long as I don't fall into the barrier that prohibits space ninjutsu, I can leave whenever I want. You don't need to go back to Konoha. No. Tsunade vetoed without saying a word. Flying Thunder God is not that safe, otherwise the second grandfather would not have died. Go back with me obediently. Tsunade's voice was very severe, unquestionable. Lin Yi could only shrug his shoulders. Okay. But in this way, the Senju family will inevitably be gossiped. Even some caring people will fan the flames. Don't worry, the reputation of the Senju clan can't be ruined so easily. As if seeing Lin Yi's heart, Tsunade smiled lightly and hugged Lin Yi into his arms. The broad softness slowly wrapped Lin Yi's head, with a sense of tenderness and warmth. With me in everything, just think about how to grow the Senju clan. After all, you are the only remaining male of the Senju clan. Lin Yi smiled slightly when he heard this, and slowly closed his eyes. Obviously he is enough to kill elite Jonin, but in the eyes of Tsunade, he seems to be a child who can only be hugged by her. But this feeling is not annoying. By the way. Suddenly Tsunade said, Lin Yi, how are you and those two little girls doing? Lin Yi was taken aback and raised his head. I'm asking if you guys are on good terms. Tsunade said seriously, has it reached the point where even if you're obsessed with her, you can calm her down? If it reaches this level, my sister has several very good medicines. By the way, Orochimaru, in Konoha's law, what kind of punishment is there for this kind of behavior? It doesn't seem to affect the future, right? It doesn't matter if there is, the big deal is to put the responsibility on me. Tsunade has a righteous face. In order to strengthen the Senju clan, I, Tsunade, fear nothing. Lin Yi. My sister, why do I have the feeling that I am gradually becoming a criminal? What should I do? Why don't the siblings defect together? Chapter 52, Those Who Don't Need Evidence. Second watch for flowers and tickets. Chapter 52, No evidence required. Second watch for flowers and tickets. Needless to say, the journey back to the village. With Tsunade, no enemy in the Fire Nation will be able to attack this team. Although the apparent reason for Tsunade's return to the village is that the Three Kingdoms battlefield has too much combat power and affects the balance, so let Tsunade return to the village temporarily. To put it simply, the other two are currently two masters, and Konoha has three. The strength is too great, which has led to the traces of the two countries joining forces against Konoha, so let Tsunade return to the village. Of course, there is a reason for this, but Tsunade, a medical ninja, has played more roles in this hot war than Jiraiya. In fact, she was worried about Lin Yi. Of course, the high-level executives are well aware of this matter, and Third Hokage also got the news early. But when Lin Yi followed Tsunade back to the village, Third Hokage led people to pose as a war hero and greeted him at the gate. Then naturally it was a business exchange. You said how brave, he said it was for Konoha and for the country. It was harmonious, and even Lin Yi was highly praised by third generation. However, when he returned to the Hokage building with Third Hokage, Tsunade, who was still talking and laughing, suddenly turned up. Teacher, this time, we can't forget it like this. Her complexion was ugly, and she was full of murderous looks. My Senju clan is only such a man, if something happens to him, the Senju clan will perish. Third Hokage's face was also a bit ugly, but he still comforted him. Tsunade, isn't it alright? That's because Lin Yi made progress on his own. If he wasn't strong enough, he would have died by Konoha's mole. Tsunade interrupted directly. Being robbed by Tsunade, Third Hokage was also a little embarrassed. He turned to Lin Yi. Lin Yi, you go out first. Although he has strength, Lin Yi is still just a genin in name after all, not a high-level person in the village. Lin Yi nodded, and walked out of the door of Hokage's office, and could faintly hear Tsunade's voice, and third Hokage's voice comforting Tsunade. Tsunade is really angry this time, and will never let it go. But let's talk about whether there will be any results. Probably not. Lin Yi thought to himself. Elite Jonin is one of the highest positions in Ninja Village. Even the current Orochimaru, his position is only Elite Jonin. There are not many people who want such existence to work for them, even at the expense of suicide. Of course not many. It's possible that Danzo, several elders, even some big clan patriarchs might have bought Kazuki. For example, the Uchiha clan who always wanted to prove that they are the strongest, and the Hokaga clan who always wanted to overwhelm Uchiha and Senju. In total, I don't know if there are 10 people. The person who murdered Lin Yi must be among these 10 people. But they have no proof. Whether it is an elder or a patriarch of the great clan, they are the most important thing to Konoha, and it is impossible to directly reprimand them or even punish them just because of a guess. Of course, if there is evidence, then don't say it. But no, until Tsunade left, Jiraiya, who personally investigated Ichiki, couldn't find anything. Obviously Ichiki was very cautious. Danzo is the most likely, but others are not out of the question. Although Tsunade is making a big fuss now, in 9 out of 10 cases it still doesn't matter. Maybe Tsunade knows it too, but she still desperately wanted to punish the unknown murderer. A smile appeared on the corner of Lin Yi's mouth. This sister suddenly remembered something, his expression suddenly became weird, and then he took out a small bottle from his pocket. It contained some medicinal powder. Yes, it was Tsunade who gave it to him. In the words of Tsunade, these powders are colorless and odorless, even Jonin will be affected, if you have a chance. You can try it? Well, Lin Yi doesn't need to say more about what kind of medicine it is. As expected of the great power of a medical ninja, although it is the first time to do this kind of thing, Tsunade's craft is still good. But the problem is that because of the need to avoid people's detection, the medicine is less effective and can only act on ordinary Jonin, and if it is stronger, it may have a certain resistance to it. For example, a certain Uzumaki family who is also very strong. In other words, for the time being, this medicine can only be used by members of a certain family that is parallel to the Senju clan. But Tsunade patted his heavy waves and said, "Don't worry, the improved version will be released soon. Even people with good physique will definitely not be able to carry my improved version." Lin Yi's expression was extremely strange, looking at Tsunade's eyes, as if watching her going to a point of no return. But let's take it first. Lin Yi quietly put the medicine bottle into his pocket and put it close to his body. Sure enough, just as Lin Yi thought, Tsunade finally died without any illness, and returned to Senju's residence sullenly. "Sorry, Lin Yi, my sister is useless." Tsunade's face darkened. As the eldest sister of the Senju clan, she can't even avenge her younger brother. "It's okay, sister, leave it to me." Lin Yi smiled. "Is there anything you can do?" Tsunade asked strangely. "By the way, you fought with Kazuki, so you found something." Tsunade was excited again, gearing up. "No." Lin Yi smiled and said, "But who do you think ordered Kazuki?" Tsunade was silent for a moment, and said, "Danzo. Most of the darkness can be related to that man. Well, so I've decided to give him a big gift." Lin Yi smiled. "But we don't have evidence that it's him. What if we make a mistake?" Tsunade frowned. Lin Yi smiled when he heard this. Sister, we are not a security force. We never need evidence for what we want to do. Chapter 53 Bomb Danzo. The third watch asks for flowers and tickets. Chapter 53 Bomb Danzo. The third watch asks for flowers and tickets. Shimura clan resident. Although it is also a big clan of ninja village, there are actually not many people in the Shimura clan. Danzo is too unscrupulous, and has touched the bottom line of others many times. Ordinary ninjas cannot kill him, but it is very easy for the ninjas of the Shimura clan. The result is that although the people of the Shimura clan are much better than the Senju clan, they are far from being prosperous. Danzo doesn't care, though. He walked into the room slowly, his movements were a little slow, like an old man. There were still some members of the Shimura clan in the house, but they all stopped chatting when they saw the man walk in. Facing this man, even if he is of the same race, is full of fear. Master Danzo, thank you for your hard work. An elite jonin swallowed and took Danzo's shirt. Danzo nodded expressionlessly, and walked slowly to the main seat. Report the situation. Because of Danzo's relationship with the Shimura family, many of them joined the route. The elite jonin who took over Danzo's clothes is his assistant. Yes, Lord Tsunade came back. Chief Uchiha publicly satirized the Senju clan at their clan's evening banquet, and the clan greatly agreed. Master Third Hokage has stepped up Umbu's patrolling of the Senju clan's garrison. Hokaga Patriarch seems to use his eyes to see the situation of Senju Linyi in the Senju resident, but is blocked by the enchantment of the Senju resident. Umbu has the function of reconnaissance intelligence. As Umbu in Umbu, Root naturally has similar abilities. Danzo nodded slowly, Tsunade returned, Linyi rose. This had a great impact on the village, and it was only natural that some people would take action. Even he was scolded by Third Hokage just because of Linyi's matter. Of course, third generation has no evidence, but it is just a guess. As for whether he did it, I'm afraid no one knows except him. Suddenly, Danzo's face changed and he looked up at the roof. Boom. In the next second, there was a loud impact sound, and the wooden roof was smashed by a burden that was about 1 person tall, and the burden fell to the ground. What is this? Who threw the burden? The sudden attack caused the Shimura clan to panic, but they are still elites. Immediately there were ninjas running to the roof, but they didn't find anything. Danzo suddenly said, "Hey, did you hear anything?" Sound at the beginning, everyone was very vigilant outside because of the possibility of being attacked, but now Danzo said, "Tsitsize." It was a strange sound they had never heard before. But it feels a bit like detonator. Danzo's expression changed. Next second. Boom. On the second day, everyone knew one thing: Danzo's house was attacked by a certain ninja, and 3 ninjas from the Shimura family, Danzo, were wounded with something similar to a detonating talisman. Third Hokage was furious, scolded Uchiha of the security force, and at the same time sent a large number of people to investigate frantically. Unfortunately, nothing was found in the end. On the other hand, Tsunade widened his eyes when he heard the words, and looked at Linyi with an unbelievable gaze. So far, how can she not guess who the culprit is? However, she could understand how Linyi attacked flying in the sky with Ninja Eagle and other ninja beasts, appearing instantly with Flying Thunder God, then dropped the burden, and left Flying Thunder God again. But she couldn't figure it out. Why did Linyi make it impossible for everyone to notice that she caused the explosion? You must know that Third Hokage even used Konoha's power in the ninja world to investigate the source of the detonating talisman, but he did not find it. Because that's not a detonating talisman at all. It's gunpowder. Lin Yi thought to himself. As a weapon commonly used by ninjas, detonating charms are extremely powerful, comparable to B-level ninjutsu. Such items are naturally regarded as military supplies, and the supervision is extremely strict. If you use the detonating talisman, you can't hide it at all. So Lin Yi chose to use gunpowder. The development of the Hokage world is very strange. Although there are items such as electric lights, there are no gunpowder weapons. At least during World War II, there are no gunpowder weapons. Even to open up mines, precious detonating symbols are used. Lin Yi, who realized this, simply went out to buy saltpeter and sulfur. Items such as charcoal, homemade gunpowder, bombing. The reason why Danzo didn't notice it at first was because the sound of the gunpowder's fuse burning was different from the sound of the detonating symbol being ignited, otherwise this experienced ninja would not be so easy to be recruited. Lin Yi used gunpowder to teach Danzo a lesson. He was injured, so it was a perfect result. But I didn't expect what it means for an elder to be attacked in Konoha village. A lot of elite ninjas kept investigating, and after a long time, they finally found out this is not the detonating charm they use every day. Then as more research elites, even Orochimaru after the war, finally discovered the existence of gunpowder. Then, during the war, Konoha used gunpowder to severely blow up the hostile ninja village once, and achieved excellent results. Of course, that is also the matter of the Third Ninja World War in the future. Chapter 54, Different Feels. Chapter 54 Different Feels. In Konoha's number 9 training ground, boys and girls are sweating. Fire-style impatience technique. Mikoto took a deep breath, and several fireballs rushed towards him. Mikoto, your fire style is getting more and more proficient. Lin Yi laughed, but it's too early to hit me. As he spoke, he paused. Earth-style earth flow wall. The wall rose, and the fireball bombarded it instantly. Boom. 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 There was a loud explosion, but the wall finally held on. Is that all? Lin Yi smiled. Of course not. Suddenly, there was a coquettish shout, and the earth flow wall that could even be blocked by impatience technique was blasted, and a petite figure rushed towards Lin Yi, with a bright red chakra on his body. Kushina. She lunged forward, pulling Lin Yi into close combat. Boom. 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 Sweep punches, high fives, elbow pokes, kicks. Both sides come and go, punching to the flesh, fighting close to each other, fighting hard. The fists and feet intersected, making a violent shock. Although Kushina's physical fitness is not as good as Lin Yi's, he can be considered a very strong member among the Jonin. What's more, she now has 9 tails chakra possessed. Mikoto was not idle either, and continued to support with precise shuriken, occasionally mixed with a few ninjutsu, setting off waves of heat on the ground. They are training. Because Lin Yi returned to Konoha, Mikoto and Kushina naturally returned to Konoha together. However, the strength of the three is completely different. Lin Yi can already kill elite Jonin, and has his own name, but what about Kushina and Mikoto against the regular Jonin? They'd be lucky if they could hold him back. Kushina is not someone who will admit defeat, so naturally she is unwilling to find Mito. Although Mikoto is gentle on the surface, but also very strong in heart, she finds her parents. But neither Mito nor Mikoto's parents have time to train each other regularly. In addition, they felt that Lin Yi was also at home, so they went to Konoha's training ground to compete. Basically Lin Yi versus Mikoto and Kushina, but sometimes Mikoto versus Kushina, or Lin Yi alone versus one of them. Of course, most of the results are. Spotting a flaw, Lin Yi narrowed his eyes, turned around, and slapped him. Snapped. Kushina blushed and froze. Lin Yi, where are you filming? This is training for you. Lin Yi said solemnly, if you get hit in the butt, you will become stiff, and you will die in the battlefield. No one spanks directly on the battlefield. Kushina was ashamed and angry, gnashing her teeth. Mikoto laughed dryly, well, this is also a daily routine. But what are you laughing at, aren't you too? Lin Yi's voice appeared behind Mikoto at some point, and then he slapped him too. Now Mikoto couldn't laugh anymore, instead he clawed at Lin Yi with all his teeth and claws. Of course, Mikoto, who majored in ninjutsu and was relatively weak in physical skills, was soon suppressed again. You can't do this. Lin Yi shook his head, the defense of the vital parts of the body is too weak, so it is easy for people to catch the weak point. Mikoto, Kushina, we believe you are a ghost. Who would hit places like buttocks and chests in real battles? If you have the time to shoot those places, you can stab people to death without suffering. This is clearly. The two women gritted their teeth. Lin Yi was serious on the surface, but he laughed in his heart, it's a lot of money. Kushina may be due to regular exercise, her parts are round and elastic, and she can faintly bounce like a ball with a slap. Mikoto is another type. She has a softer temperament, and her body is also extremely soft. She obviously does a lot of daily exercise, but she seems to be so soft that she can sink. The two women have their own merits, but they are both very outstanding. This made Lin Yi touch the small medicine bottle in his arms involuntarily. He has this thing with him all the time. Lin Yi, your physical skills are so strong. After being shy, Kushina sighed and lay down on the ground of the training ground. I have already used 9 tails chakra, but you still easily overwhelmed me. Yes, yes. Mikoto also nodded, my Sharingan can see through your movements, but it can't keep up with your speed. Obviously you hardly use any ninjutsu, but you can still beat us easily. Lin Yi, have you learned Master Tsunade's taijutsu? I did learn something. Lin Yi nodded. In fact, after returning to Konoha, in addition to continuing to learn ninjutsu as a clone of Lin Yi, Tsunade also specially spared time to train Lin Yi in actual combat. Combat experience naturally increased a lot. I have also started to learn strange power, and the basic use of chakra has been learned, but it has not yet reached the point where I can form skills. Seeing Lin Yi nodding, Kushina sighed, Master Tsunade's taijutsu is so powerful, he really deserves to be the #1 taijutsu master in Konoha. Suddenly, a voice of displeasure came. Konoha Daiki's taijutsu. Are you ignoring me, the Hokaga clan? Chapter 55 Ma-dan, why is it him the second one asks for flowers and tickets? Chapter 55 Ma-dan, why is it him the second one asks for flowers and tickets? Konoha Daiki's taijutsu. Are you ignoring me, the Hokaga clan? The three of Lin Yi heard the words and looked over. Beside the training ground, stood 2 cataract brothers from the Hokaga clan. They are about a little bigger than Fugaku, wearing kimonos and looking at the forehead protector, they are already at the Chunin level. One person looked unhappy, and was striding towards the 3 of them. One person looked at his brother with some embarrassment, big brother, there's no need to be like this. The so-called strongest is mostly just the thoughts in people's hearts. For example, most female ninjas think Tsunade is the strongest, and so do medical ninjas. Researchers often think that Orochimaru is the most powerful, Umbu from Gen thinks that Danzo is the most powerful, and the Uchiha family thinks that no matter what point they are the most powerful. There is nothing wrong with the Hokaga clan thinking that they are the number one in physical arts, but others think that Tsunade is the strongest in physical arts, so is there a problem? Hokaga family Lin Yi and the others frowned and looked at the two brothers. The Hokaga family is also a big family in the village, and privately claims to be the most powerful family in Konoha Taijutsu. In fact, they have always been proud. When the Uchiha clan was exterminated and the Senju clan was sparsely populated, they simply removed the word body art. Big brother, it doesn't have to be like this. One person said with some embarrassment, they have no intention of targeting the Hokaga clan. My Hokaga family is the strongest family of Konoha body art. Another person said in a cold voice, I think everyone must understand this point. Hisashi, don't you have the pride of being a Hokaga clan? Hisashi Lin Yi frowned, and looked at the Hokaga tribe who started to find fault. Who are you? Hokaga clan, Hokaga Hayashi. Hayashi said proudly, then looked at Kushina, my friend, please don't say some wrong words in the future. What wrong words? Pepper suddenly frowned. I said Master Tsunade has strong body skills, is it wrong? You Hokaga clan are capable, why don't you challenge Master Tsunade? I also admire Master Tsunade's physical strength. Hayashi said in a deep voice, but the title of the strongest physical skill, when I grow up, I will naturally ask Master Tsunade for advice. But now please take back your words, otherwise I have no choice but to stay here and ask you for advice. As he spoke, he raised his head and looked directly at Kushina with a proud face. Little Pepper also exploded in an instant, ask for advice, okay? We too. Wait, Kushina, let me do it here. Lin Yi rolled his eyes and blocked Kushina's next words. You and I come to ask for advice on Taijutsu, can you? He looked at Hayashi, the winning side can make a condition to the other side. Any conditions will do. You Hayashi frowned, the conditions are fine, but you two go together, I don't want to take advantage of this. Lin Yi and others are all 12 or 13 years old, but he is already a chunin. This cheap, arrogant, he doesn't want to take advantage of it. Even if he wins, the request he intends to make is nothing more than a condition of don't say similar things again. As soon as Hayashi's words came out, Kushina looked at him in surprise. Although this person is a little in the second grade, a little reckless, and a little arrogant, he still has a little ambition. But no need, I'm enough alone. Lin Yi smiled. Hayashi frowned, with a bad expression on his face, I'm already a chunin. I'm much older than you. It's already my bottom line to let you go together. He is so proud that he is not willing to take advantage of this. Actually, I think it's better for you brothers to go together. Lin Yi sighed. Kushina and Mikoto even had strange expressions on their faces, as if they wanted to laugh but tried not to laugh out loud. My brother Hisashi and I are already chunin. Hayashi emphasized. Yeah, but I've already killed elite jonin. Lin Yi sighed, it's too much for me to just let you two. Killed elite jonin? Hayashi frowned, and was about to mock him. Instead, Hisashi's expression changed, and he said, my friend, are you Senju family, Senju Lin Yi? Lin Yi laughed. Hayashi, Hisashi, WW Mudun, why is it him? Chapter 56, Fighting the Hokaga Brothers. The third watch asks for flowers and tickets. Chapter 56, The Battle of the Hokaga Brothers. The name Lin Yi, in the past, may only have the label of the heir of the Senju family. Unless you know it carefully, there are a lot of people who don't know his name. But now, there are very few people in Konoha who don't know this name. I have killed Elite Jonin, even with one enemy and 100, but I have killed all the opponents, plus the background of the Senju clan. This is a hero. Even brothers Hayashi and Hisashi had heard of this name from their parents, and they even compared it with Lin Yi, and then slammed it. So Hisashi and Hayashi brothers just went out for a walk today to relax. But no matter how big his brain is, he never thought that the person he challenged today would be that one. Lin Yi smiled, and to be honest, he never expected to meet these two. Moreover, I also challenged myself to join forces with Kushina and others. This is really funny enough. Hayashi's face was ugly, he didn't expect to meet Lin Yi either. But as a ninja, his quality is still very qualified. Even though the Flying Thunder God is surprisingly effective against the weak, he is definitely not capable of killing so many ninjas, even Lin Yi of Elite Jonin. But if he was full of arrogance just now and wanted them to go up together, now he shrinks back. This is not his style. On the contrary, Hisashi was very decisive and bowed at that time. I'm sorry, Mr. Lin Yi, my big brother said something wrong just now, please don't worry about it. If it was a normal situation, he would not be like this, after all, he was also from the Konoha clan. But don't forget, Lin Yi made a bet with Hayashi. Don't worry, I didn't take it to heart. Lin Yi smiled, I can let the two of you do it together. Master Lin Yi, please don't argue with our brothers because you have a lot of people. Hisashi was anxious. I don't use ninjutsu or illusion, I only use taijutsu to fight you. Lord Lin Yi. Enough Hisashi. Hisashi interrupted, this battle, let's fight together. But Hisashi looked a little ugly, the other party is younger than us, and let you and I fight together, and at the same time only use physical skills. Hayashi said in a deep voice, in this situation, you don't dare to fight, what kind of Hokaga are you? But Hisashi looked ugly. However, this time it's not just a battle of wills. But it involves a bet. What if the other party asks for the secret technique of the Hokaga family to give or not to give? If you don't, even the Hokaga family can break the contract, and the Hokaga family's reputation will be ruined in an instant. Yes, family ninjutsu is passed down, but it is the most intolerable thing for every ninja. So in the end, there is only one choice left for the family: remove Hayashi from the head of the family. Hisashi, don't forget, this bet is the same for the other party. Hayashi said in a deep voice, he dared to take this kind of risk and compete with us in physical skills, but we didn't dare at all. Hisashi was silent after hearing this. The location is the training ground in front of you. Unlike ninjutsu, taijutsu is not affected by so many external conditions. The three of them just separated a little, and then started directly. Blind eyes. Hayashi's face turned serious, and he instantly drew closer. He made a gentle fist opening gesture, with his fists clenched, and hit Lin Yi. Good time. Lin Yi smiled, but his eyes were also serious. Gentle fist is a physical technique that injects one's own chakra into the enemy's body, thereby damaging the chakra's access meridian system and internal organs in the enemy's body. Therefore, it can only exert its power when it cooperates with the blood succession boundary of the Hokaga family white eyes. Unlike ordinary bodies, internal organs cannot be exercised, so no matter how powerful a ninja gets hit by a gentle fist, it is often fatal. Of course, a strong ninja is also very tolerant of injuries. But the Hokaga family can seal your chakra hole with gentle fist, so that you can't use any chakra. In this age of ninjas, there is nothing without chakra. At first glance, Siamese is just a physical confrontation, but in fact, every punch and every kick comes with its own chakra. The two approached quickly, and in the next second, fists and feet intersected. Sweep punches, high fives, elbow pokes, kicks. The two sides punch to the flesh, you come and go, where the fists and feet meet, there is a muffled sound. The dust on the training ground flew with the movements of the two of them, and the speed of their fists and kicks became faster and faster, almost turning into phantoms. But everyone present could see that Hayashi was at a disadvantage. Because of Lin Yi's footsteps, he hasn't moved yet. Damn it! Hayashi looked ugly and shouted, "Hisashi!" Hisashi in the distance took a deep breath and struck a strange pose. That's it. Lin Yi narrowed his eyes. Hisashi's eyes widened suddenly, and his figure suddenly approached. At the same time, Hayashi also took a deep breath while posing. Hisashi, Hayashi, 8 trigrams 64 palms. It's interesting. Lin Yi laughed, and then his footsteps moved. Chapter 57, Lin Yi's request. First request for flowers and tickets. Chapter 57, Lin Yi's request. First request for flowers and tickets. The two gentle fist masters approached. Lin Yi just smiled lightly, and then the leaf rises to the wind. His body was pressed suddenly, and then he bounced with all his strength. The strength of the whole body was transformed into the power of kicking up, and the kick hit the palm of Hisashi and Hayashi brothers. Boom! Under that powerful force, both of their bodies felt a slight uplift. However, Lin Yi's attack has not stopped. Leaf Hurricane. Leaf Hurricane is different from ordinary upper body moves, but a series of body skills that continuously attack the upper body and the lower body. The body rotates at a high speed, thereby bringing powerful force to accelerate, and finally defeats the opponent with the uncertainty of whether the opponent does not know whether to kick the upper plate or the lower plate next. Boom! Boom! The arms of Hisashi and the Hayashi brothers were kicked away forcefully, and the empty door was wide open. Leaf Great Whirlwind. Leaf Great Whirlwind is an advanced version of Leaf Hurricane. It abandons the uncertainty of Leaf Hurricane, but becomes very stylized. It starts with a kick from the bottom plate, then the middle plate, then the upper plate, and finally uses the heel hammer for finishing touches. However, everyone knows the routine, but Hisashi, Hayashi can't avoid it at all. Damn, why is he so strong? We are Chunin of Grandmaster Taijutsu, disciples of the Hokaga family. And the other party? So far, it's just a basic physical technique like Konoha fluid technique. The faces of the two were ugly. They were obviously 2 against 1, but there was a feeling that there were more people on the other side. Lin Yi's speed is too fast. The power is too strong. Is this the Senju clan? Master First Hokage's physical skills are also extremely strong, although he doesn't know any special physical skills. But just relying on the physical fitness that dominates the ninja world, even with the most basic physical skills, he can beat everything. Although Lin Yi is still young, his body is not fully mature. But with the full-level immortal body, he has a physical fitness no less than Hashirama. What's more, physical skills and so on can rely on a lot of squandering chakra to improve strength and speed. With chakra's outburst and full-level Konoha fluid art, even Jonin can hardly handle it, not to mention that Hisashi and Hayashi are only Chunin now. It's almost over. Lin Yi narrowed his eyes slightly. Leaf Strong Whirlwind. This move is simpler than the previous moves? Just a simple backspin kick, and only one kick. However, the Ippei has no front, and great skill does not work. Boom! Hayashi was kicked out first, followed by Hisashi who got kicked out together. The battle is over. Hisashi and Hayashi brothers fell to the ground in a daze, unable to get up for a while. We lose. I lost. Although they knew that Lin Yi was very strong, they never expected that a ninja known as Flying Thunder God could easily defeat them both with physical skills. The results are obvious and indisputable. Do you want to fight again? Lin Yi asked. Hisashi and Hayashi were silent and lowered their heads. Then I will make a request. Lin Yi said flatly. The heads of the two lowered even further. Hayashi is the head of the Hokaga family and has a very high status. Although Hisashi has turned into a branch house, his talent is faintly stronger than Hayashi, and his status is not low. But now, as long as Lin Yi opened his mouth and asked for a few family secrets, both of them would be ruined. Lord Lin Yi, we. Enough, Hisashi. Before Hisashi finished speaking, Hisashi interrupted, I would like to admit defeat, you are also a Hokaga clan. And don't forget, as a member of the Senju clan, Lin Yi also bears the same risks as us. The ninjutsu of the Hokaga family has been spread, which naturally has a great influence. But isn't the ninjutsu of the Senju clan precious? The wood style of the first generation, the water style of the second generation, the Flying Thunder God, and even the strange power of Tsunade are much more precious than the ninjutsu of their Hokaga clan. After all, their gentle fist also has to match their white eyes, without which it is difficult to use. And what about the ninjutsu of the Senju clan? The wood style of first generation is a ninjutsu far superior to all ninjutsu, and other than that, all ninjutsu belong to the Senju family, and other ninjutsu can also be used, and there is not much difference in use. If I had to say it, Lin Yi was at a greater risk than them. Lin Yi, tell me your request. Hayashi said in a deep voice. My request is very simple. Lin Yi smiled. I invite you to come. Chapter 58 Hayashi, marry my daughter to you. Second, ask for flowers and tickets. Chapter 58 Hayashi, marry my daughter to you. Second, ask for flowers and tickets. My request is very simple. Lin Yi smiled. Hayashi and Hisashi both swallowed a mouthful of saliva, gritted their teeth, and waited for the judgment of their own fate. Please treat us to a meal. Lin Yi thought for a while and said, it just so happens that we've been exercising for so long and we're all hungry. What? The two were stunned at the same time, and did not react for a long time. Would you please eat? Yeah, don't tell me that you, the young master of the Hokaga family, can't even pay for a meal. Lin Yi glanced at Hayashi in surprise. Hayashi blushed and waved his hands repeatedly. No, really just want us to treat you to a meal, don't need anything else. Hayashi was full of surprise. In this case, it was Lin Yi who asked for the secret technique of the Hokaga family, and they all had to think about it. Refuse, and damage Hayaga's honor. If he doesn't refuse, then either he will be dismissed as heir, or his prestige will be greatly damaged. But Lin Yi only wanted one meal. How much can a meal, even the most high-end meal in Konoha, cost? One meal is enough, we are all Konoha's ninjas. Lin Yi laughed, not paying attention to who dropped the bomb on Konoha's high-rise residence some time ago. Lin Yi. Hayashi's lips moved slightly, originally thinking that he was about to fall into a desperate situation, but now. This is probably the Senju clan. Hisashi also breathed a sigh of relief, looking at Lin Yi's eyes with a bit of admiration. Once, he wondered why the elders of the family who were so proud in their hearts worshipped first Hokage so much. Now look at Lin Yi's nonchalant look. He seems to understand a little bit. Okay. You can order all of Konoha's meals. Hayashi immediately said boldly, I'll pay for it. Exciting enough. Lin Yi laughed, and pulled Hayashi up. The two women looked at each other and shrugged their shoulders. They are all generous people, but they didn't care about Hayashi's initial offense. But Lin Yi seems to be more cautious. It seems that it was too easy to let Hayashi go this time. But this is not a big deal. Mikoto smiled and said, I remember a new barbecue restaurant opened in the snack street a while ago, let's go eat this. Okay. Hayashi said without hesitation. The barbecue restaurant is newly opened, and the facilities inside are not bad. Burning red charcoal, coupled with a clean iron grid, put bright red beef and pork, it can also be called a good delicacy. Although the seasonings inside are not configured by Lin Yi's cooking action seems to have brought out some cooking skills, and the Mikoto and Kushina are delicious. But Hayashi and the others didn't eat Lin Yi's grilled meat, so they were a little confused. Is it that delicious after all? It's also the Uchiha clan and the Senju clan. Hisashi ate the grilled meat in his mouth, his face was full of confusion. Big family, is there anything you haven't eaten? As for that, Hayashi picked up a cup of tea, took a deep breath, and said, Lin Yi, I have to thank you this time. If you ask for the secret technique from the Hokaga family, I really don't know what to do. It's okay, we are all members of Konoha, and I am also from the Senju clan. How can I not know the importance of family secrets to the family? Lin Yi waved his hand casually. As expected of the Senju family, grand. Hayashi gave a thumbs up, come on, I'll replace wine with tea, thank you. Replace wine with tea? Lin Yi smiled, why can't you drink? Hayashi was stunned, we are not yet adults, how can we drink? This is not the rule of ninjas. Come on, I have a bottle of good wine here, let's drink it. Lin Yi took out a bottle of homemade liquor without hesitation. Drink. Hayashi hesitated. If you don't drink, you don't give me face. Lin Yi pretended to be displeased, or, the heir of the dignified Hokaga clan, wouldn't he dare not even drink alcohol? Okay. Let's drink. So before everyone could react, the two of them drank 1 cup for you and 1 cup for me. Lin Yi's wine is made by learning the method of Beiju he knew in his previous life, not Japanese sake with very weak alcohol. As soon as he drank the first glass, Hayashi's fair face flushed instantly. Brave. Lin Yi praised, and then he did it without hesitation. Come on, let's drink again. Mikoto and the others were a little confused and advised a few words, but Lin Yi said, we are already mature ninjas, what can't we drink? The words were blocked back. Hisashi also hesitated a bit, but considering Lin Yi let them go, he drank too. It is said that the friendship between men is established at the wine table. This sentence may be a bit wrong, but it is true that the wine table can make the atmosphere more harmonious. Hisashi, Hayashi, and Lin Yi chatted very quickly, you said brother, I said buddy. Then, under the guidance of Lin Yi, the chat content quickly developed in another direction. Lin Yi said nonchalantly, Hayashi, you don't have a girlfriend yet. Yeah, there are a lot of people chasing Masako. Hayashi sighed. You have to hurry up, this kind of thing is fast with hands but slow with hands. But I haven't made any progress, and I'm busy with tasks recently. You have to work hard. If you don't work hard to pursue her, how will people know that you like her? When will they agree with you? I've worked hard. Come on. Otherwise, when will you be able to get married, have children, and grow your Hokaga clan? Well. You are right, for the sake of the Hokaga clan, I will definitely work hard. I will beat up those guys who dare to rob Masako from me later, and let them know what kind of goods I am. Well said. Lin Yi gave a thumbs up, and then sighed, you have fallen in love with someone, pity I also shoulder the task of strengthening the Senju clan. Mikoto and Kushina ate the grilled meat silently, while their ears were perked up, and they focused instantly. You have to work hard too. Hayashi burped and put on an elder face, although you are still young, this kind of thing can be done quickly but not slowly. It seems that I said this to you just now. Lin Yi thought to himself, but said on the face, unfortunately, I'm not handsome enough, and I'm not good at pleasing girls on weekdays. I don't know if they will see me. Maybe when your daughters are born and become ninjas, I still can't find a girlfriend. Maybe it was too much alcohol, or maybe something else. With a strong smell of alcohol, Hayashi patted his chest directly and assured, don't worry, if you need it then, I will marry my daughter to you. My buddy, not all women are worthy of it. Lin Yi nodded silently in his heart. Well, I'll be waiting for your words. Chapter 59 Kakashi's Full Moon Wine. The third watch asks for flowers and tickets. Chapter 59 Kakashi's Full Moon Wine. The third watch asks for flowers and tickets. After Lin Yi fooled Hayashi, nothing actually happened. Mikoto and others didn't take Hayashi's words seriously, although Hayashi is older than Lin Yi now, he is only 16 or 17 years old. When his daughter was born, he would have already cough. Besides, who would take such drunken words seriously? It is estimated that even Hayashi, who values commitment and the honor of the Hokaga family, will not take it seriously. Apart from a certain thoughtful and scheming fellow. But Lin Yi, he is actually worried that he will not have a girlfriend. Is it because my attitude is a little too serious on weekdays, so that he dare not think too much? Thinking about such words in their hearts, the two women returned to their home with some worries. Not long after that, Lin Yi felt that the two people he trained with him were much more generous, and their behavior revealed a sense of intimacy. Mikoto even took the initiative to make a lunchbox for Lin Yi to eat. Then she was greatly taunted by Kushina. While eating and drinking, Kushina said, it's not delicious at all. It's not as good as Lin Yi's. Mikoto was so angry that a well appeared on his forehead. Then if you have the ability, don't take the share I made for Lin Yi. Between fighting and fighting, the days passed day by day. After a long period of study, Lin Yi finally mastered the monster power technique taught by Tsunade. Strange power technique. The current level is increased to LVMAX, and the additional status Physical Master is obtained. Physical Master, after hard training, you have perfect attack skills, no more ways to defeat the enemy, physical strength +2, attack power +2. This passive is twice as strong as the physical Grandmaster of Konoha fluid technique that I learned at the beginning. It can be seen that the strange power is far beyond what the basic physical technique can match. Cooperating with the extremely powerful chakra on Lin Yi, it can explode with great power. He even left Konoha with Flying Thunder God and tried it in a few places. He punched down with all his strength, and he could knock down a hill with one punch. Of course, under the effect of the reaction force, the result is that although the power is great, the bones of his hand are also shattered, and his hand is bloody. If it weren't for the recovery ability of the immortal body, he would have been lying on the bed for several months. But Lin Yi doesn't care, as long as he limits his strength, even in a restricted state, he can still fight the tailed beast. This is a humanoid tail beast. The kind in the true sense. Of course, apart from my own sister, no one else knows this. The two girls of Kushina are still training with Lin Yi. After all, they will not be able to perform missions in a short time. But unlike before, this time the Hokaga brothers occasionally came over. Their gentle fist style is different from normal steel fist, but there are many merits. Coupled with the fact that Lin Yi would occasionally explain the method of the strange power technique without hesitation, they would also reveal a lot of gentle fist skills under shame. It feels like a general outline of gentle fist, and Lin Yi can learn gentle fist now. Of course, because of the difference in strength, they also formed a group to fight Lin Yi like Mikoto during training. Lin Yi continues to start a new study. This time, what he wants to learn is wood-style super ninjutsu, birth of the tree world. In fact, normal learning should start with basic ninjutsu. After all, this kind of S-level ninjutsu not only has extremely high requirements for the practitioner, but also has a lot of difficulty. If something goes wrong, it may even cause some troubles. But now the smoke of gunpowder in the ninja world is thicker and thicker, and the flames of war are approaching, and everyone feels the urgency and depression. It is not surprising that a real war breaks out at any time. He may need to rush to the battlefield at any time. In this case, Tsunade had to compromise and gave Lin Yi the scroll of ninjutsu born from the tree world. She hopes that this ninjutsu can become Lin Yi's trump card. However, S-level ninjutsu is S-level ninjutsu after all, and it is wood style that cannot get advice from others. It is very difficult for Lin Yi to learn. Unfortunately, Hashirama is completely a protagonist template, and the written ninjutsu scroll is not very rigorous. Lin Yi looked at the scroll in his hand, and the corner of his mouth twitched. Although the scroll clearly states the basic points of using ninjutsu, many difficulties and points are mentioned in one stroke. It's like writing slightly in the reference answer. When I really need the answer, I turn the book, and I suddenly feel like I've fk'd a quadruped animal. Compared to the same S-level ninjutsu, the scroll of Flying Thunder God written by second Hokage is much more rigorous. Just like a real scientific scientist, every parameter has a range, the reason for using this range, and so on. But helpless, I have to learn what I should learn. Senju Station. Boom boom boom. Here we come. Lin Yi yawned and opened the door. Outside the door was a man with blue hair. He bowed slightly and said, "Excuse me, is this Master Senju Lin Yi?" "What's wrong?" Lin Yi gave him a surprised look. "This is an invitation from Master Heitake Sakumo to Master Lin Yi and Master Tsunade." The man presented the invitation with both hands. Invitation card. Lin Yi took it. "Well, it's Lord Heitake Sakumo's son, Kakashi's full moon wine is here, please watch the ceremony." Chapter 60 Spy Kato Dan the Fourth Watch asks for flowers and tickets. Chapter 60 Spy Kato Dan the Fourth Watch asks for flowers and tickets. Sakumo's son Tsunade looked at the invitation with a carefree look, and nodded. "I see, I will go." Although the Heitake family is small in number, it is also one of the big families, and Heitake Sakumo is an elite in the village with outstanding strength. This face has to be given. And this may be the last meeting in Konoha. Tsunade narrowed his eyes. The flames of war are approaching. Yes. Then I'll go and reply to Sakumo-sama. The blue-haired man looked at Tsunade with a gentle smile. Then, he stood up and walked out. Lin Yi frowned. That man seemed. "Sister, who is that person?" Lin Yi asked. "Kato Dan, elite jonin of the village." Tsunade said casually, "belongs to Sakumo's direct subordinate, and his strength is not weak. Then she realized, Lin Yi, why did you ask about him? It really is Kato Dan. Lin Yi squinted his eyes, turned his eyes, and said, it's okay, I was just thinking, he is here to send invitations, right? Elite Jonin shouldn't be involved in this kind of thing, right? Sending credit umbu normally is the most common means. But the umbu who sent the letter is actually just Ichinin. When he reaches the Jonin level, he already belongs to the high-level sequence. How can anyone lower his status to send a letter? In other words? You mean, he came to test my Senju clan? Tsunade immediately responded. I don't know, it's just possible. Lin Yi said solemnly, after all, I've been in the limelight recently, and some eyes have been staring at us a while ago, and someone even secretly wanted to sneak into the clan. It is indeed possible. Tsunade's face suddenly became serious. She can ignore other things, but it is about the Senju clan, about Lin Yi, she would rather kill than let go. Sakumo has no conflicts with my Senju clan, and the Heitake clan is also friendly with the Senju clan. He probably won't come to test us. Tsunade suddenly began to think, but it's hard to say about the Kato clan. The Kato clan is just a small clan. On the surface, they rely on Sakumo, but no one knows who they rely on in private. Even Kato Dan from Elite Jonin can die for the mastermind behind the scenes. Who knows if Kato Dan is also the mastermind behind the scenes? So sister, we have to be careful about that spy. Lin Yi nodded heavily. Tsunade also nodded vigorously. Ever since, before a certain man was brought to justice, he had already been identified as a spy by the two of them. Although the Heitake family is not well known, the population is not prosperous. However, as one of the big families of Konoha, they still have a fairly large family residence. But now, the place that was originally strictly guarded, with all kinds of secret sentries and guards constantly stationed, is brightly lit, people come and go, and it is very lively. Every member of the Heitake tribe greeted the guests with a rare smile, and Heitake Sakumo's subordinates mingled with them, smiling. The same is true for the guests who came to see the ceremony, and all of them are famous and powerful ninjas. Konoha Elder Udaten Koharu, Elder Mito Inman, Senju Clan Senju Tsunade, and even 3rd Hokage took time off to take a look at Kakashi. Because the current White Fang is Konoha's top ninja. Strength, even surpassing Sunin. Considering that the elders seldom go out to perform missions, and Hokage will not leave the village unless he is in a life or death crisis, he is the strongest ninja in Konoha who is still performing missions. Lin Yi also met Heitake Sakumo for the first time. Perhaps it was not long after he became a father for the first time. There was a gentle smile on his face, without the slightest ninja aura. But Lin Yi noticed that Chuo Mao's hands were slender and powerful, and his nails were neatly trimmed, which even made people feel a little beautiful. The slender and strong fingers are extremely flexible and change rapidly. If Lin Yi hadn't paid attention earlier, he might not be able to detect the position of his palm. This is a good hand with a knife. Master Tsunade, thank you for coming. Sakumo said with a smile on his face. I met Sakumo-sama. Tsunade nodded slightly. In the village, Shuo Mao's status is even higher than that of Sunin. I'm out of sight. Shuo Mao smiled and focused his attention on Lin Yi. This is the new star of the Senju clan, right? This is the first time you and I have seen each other. He soon noticed Lin Yi's gaze, and smiled slightly. It seems that the rumors are correct. You do deserve a title. Your honor is too high. Lin Yi laughed. Sakumo smiled, didn't speak, just chatted with Tsunade for a few words, then apologized and left. Many people came to participate in the Kakashi full moon wine. As the patriarch of the Heitake family, he was also very busy. Not long after Shuoemo left, Kato-dan approached. Master Tsunade, come and taste this sake bar. It is a new sake produced by the most famous brewery in the Land of Fire. 1 cup is enough. Before he finished speaking, he heard Tsunade snort coldly and left directly. Hokaga-dan looked confused. What did I do? Why did she change her attitude towards me? But Miss Tsunade is so beautiful. Kato-dan watched Tsunade's leaving back and sighed in his heart. Tsunade is also a cage-level master, so he can't feel the sight of others. Suddenly snorted coldly, and said to Lin. Lin Yi, you have to be careful with that person, his eyes are always wandering between you and me, he definitely looks like a spy. N. Lin Yi vowed, sister, don't worry, next time he comes to our house, I will never let him in. A certain spy, Miss Tsunade seems to have misunderstood me. Do you want to date her and start with her brother? Have a good relationship with her brother, maybe.